everyone, today we're making dinner. We are having some chicken stir fry with some white rice. So we are gonna start with our white rice. I have my water boiling and I'm gonna add my rice to the pot. This happens to be Jasmine rice. So I just filled this mug 2 times and the water came to a boil. And then, once it comes to a boil, you're gonna fill that same container up 1 time with rice. And then you are going to stir. And this is Jasmine rice, so I actually like this rice because it's very floral and I don't add any salt and I don't add any fat to the water, okay? And it's already coming to a boil, so I'm actually gonna lower the heat, put my lid on, and set a timer for 15 minutes. And we're gonna start our chicken stir fry. All right, so I have already marinated my chicken. All right, it was marinated in some soy sauce, some cornstarch, some rice wine vinegar, and some white pepper. The other thing that we're gonna do is we are gonna saute some vegetables and we're gonna prepare our sauce. Now, when you're making stir fry, you need to have everything organized and ready to go. So I'm actually gonna make our sauce before I start sauteing vegetables. And I'm gonna go with 2 parts soy sauce. That's 1. And I'm just measuring this in a shot glass, okay? You can measure in anything. And when you're cooking, it's more of like ratios than baking. So I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of sugar. This is brown sugar. I'm gonna add, it was 2 parts of soy sauce. The recipe calls for black vinegar, but unfortunately, I don't have black vinegar. And the closest thing to black vinegar would be sherry vinegar, so that's what I'm using. Sometimes you have to use what you have in life. And then we're just gonna give it a little bit of sesame oil. This is a finishing oil. And it gives it a nice little complexity to the sauce, okay? If you like it spicy, you could add some sriracha to it, or I happen to like this chili garlic sauce. So we'll taste it and then we'll see if it needs a little bit more heat. So this is kind of like an adaptation of Kung Pao chicken. Is it absolutely authentic? No. All right, I am not Asian, but I do love Asian flavors. They are some of my favorite cuisines. Okay. So, I'm gonna put this in the order in which I'm going to cook it. I'm gonna cook my vegetables first. I'm gonna remove them from the pan. I'm gonna add, this is GGS. All right, what is GGS? Well, it is garlic, ginger, and scallion. And this is an adaptation of Kung Pao. They usually have Szechuan peppers in Kung Pao, and they also have these dried peppers. So I only put a few. I don't like it too spicy. My family doesn't like it too spicy, so I actually took out the seeds. All right, this is our chicken. Like I said, I already marinated it. And our sauce, we just need to give it a little stir. And then we're going to garnish it with some peanuts. It should just be plain peanuts, but all I had in the house was roasted salted peanuts, so that's what we're gonna use, right? You have to use what you have. And then this is just some leftover not the leftover, this is the tops of the scallion. The entire part of the scallion is edible. You can eat the greens or the whites and the greens, okay? All right, so my pan is hot. I'm gonna add some oil. This says olive oil, but it's not olive oil. All right, we just buy in bulk. And then put it in smaller containers. All right, so. When we are stir frying veg, I always like to put in my hard vegetables in first, which means in go my carrots, my onions, and my celery. And I hear that pan sizzling, which means my pan is hot. And I don't like my veggies cooked too much. So we're not gonna go crazy. This is gonna be a really quick stir fry. And you're gonna see how easy this is. And listen, I love going and having some takeout or sitting at one of my favorite Asian restaurants. But sometimes making Asian food isn't all that difficult, and I want you to show you that it's pretty approachable. So you're just going to keep your veggies moving. And I want you to know that these wonderful knife cuts were all done by my cameraman and my prep cook, Mr. Leal. He is awesome. All right. All right, so the next veggies we're gonna add are some peppers. And then these are some snap peas. They're snap peas. And with a snap pea, the pea inside and the shell around it is both edible and it's puffier. A snow pea's flat, snap pea is puffy. Just gonna give that a quick saute. So with a traditional kung pao, you're only going to see the vegetable of celery and like scallions to garnish, as well as the peanuts. But I love having lots of different veggies in my food. So when you're the cook, you can add whatever veggies you want. And I like my vegetables pretty raw. So I'm actually going to remove them and we're going to work on our chicken. They will cook a little bit more once we add the sauce to the chicken. Alright, that is good. We're going to let the pan get a little warmer because we want our chicken to be hot, or the pan to be hot once we add the chicken. Okay? if you think I added too much oil, you can always add less oil. Traditionally, a wok is used, but I don't have a wok. So I'm just using a 12-inch nonstick skillet. All right, so I'm seeing that my oil is starting to get warm. I'm gonna add my GGS. Get that moving. Once it's nice and softened and it's aromatic, I'm gonna add my chicken. I'm just gonna dump it all in, create a single layer, and I'm gonna let that heat up, okay? And so it doesn't splatter everywhere, I'm actually going to cover it. And we're going to talk about some vegetables really quick. All right. So a vegetable is an edible part of the plant. So when it comes to the aromatics we put in our stir fry, it has ginger root, and this is a root and it's very fibrous, so you're gonna cut down and then you're going to make little slices, stack those slices, make a little julienne, and then make little cubes. All right, the other aromatic is scallion. Now with the scallion, it has the root, which I cut off. Now here's the thing with the root. All you have to do is you take this root, you put it back in the soil, and it will grow another scallion, okay? So these scallions weren't looking so good. They regrew me some beautiful fresh scallions. All right, the other aromatic in the stir fry is garlic. Now, this is a bulb of garlic, and if you notice, this bulb of garlic is starting to sprout. So you can still use this garlic, all right? But if you do, you wanna take the green part out because it imparts a bitter flavor. Again, you can take this sprouted garlic, you put it in the ground, and then it becomes this. All right, I just plucked this from my garden a few minutes ago, and this bulb gets really big, and then it grows into individual little cloves of garlic. All right, once the plant is dead, then you know you can take it out, and you have to dry it for a day, and then you can store it. All right, I grow all of my own garlic that I eat for the entire year. All right, so another vegetable that you can eat would be lettuce. Now when you're eating lettuce, you're eating the leaves of a plant like this. This is a carrot. Carrot is in our stir fry. When you're eating the carrot, you are eating the root of the vegetable. Celery is in our stir fry. You're eating the stem of a plant. The other vegetable in which you're eating the stem would be asparagus. Now these asparagus are also from my garden, okay? And if you want really good asparagus, the top should be nice and closed, and it should be dry. If it's soft and mushy, please leave it at the supermarket, okay? The celery has both the stem and it has the leaves. All parts of the celery are edible. I love the celery leaves for a salad. All right, we talked about the snap pea, and with a snap pea, you want to just take off both ends of the snap pea. You can do that with a knife. I just did it with my nail. All right. Then there is a pepper. Now with a pepper is actually not a vegetable because it has seeds on the inside. So anytime you have a vegetable with seeds on the inside, it's botanically a fruit, but it's used as a vegetable. Then we have a onion. All right, the onion, you're actually eating the bulb of a plant. All right, another example of a vegetable would be a sweet potato, and a sweet potato is a tuber. This one actually has a little sprout growing, which I am actually growing over here. And hopefully I can take all these tops off, grow them, and I will get some sweet potato plants. These happen to be sprouts I took off of my potatoes. Those have to go into the dirt. So these are tubers, all right? And these are all edible. This is celery. Now, I had some celery. I cut maybe an inch off the top, and I just put it in water, and I'm hoping that it'll gain root. And if you see that white little thing, guess what? That's a root. So it needs a few more weeks in the water, and then hopefully I can plant that. So my chicken is coming in out nicely. I'm just gonna give it a quick little flip. It has a little bit of color. And I would say a few more minutes and we should be good. I am gonna just cover it again. All right, so my timer went off and my rice is beautiful. All right, we're just gonna keep the lid on though, and it's going to just continue cooking and get nice and beautiful for us. All right, so I think we're at the point where, even though it does need a few more minutes to cook, we can have the chicken continue to cook with the sauce that we made. So we're just gonna give that a stir. Now the chicken doesn't have any salt in it, but it does have soy sauce, okay? Soy sauce is very salty, so we didn't have to add any additional salt. And soy sauce may have gluten in it, so just make sure you buy, if you are concerned or have dietary concerns, make sure you get soy sauce without, and that says gluten-free on it. Okay, so we added our liquid. And because we marinated the chicken in a little bit of cornstarch, it thickened our sauce. And I chose to use the thighs and the drumsticks because I find that they don't dry out as much, and I prefer them to chicken breast, but if you wanted to use chicken breast, you absolutely could. And then I'm gonna add our veggies. So everything can cook together. I would say it is looking good. You want to make sure you cook your chicken fully to 165, and it should be all cooked through. If you can see, that's all cooked through, okay? Now, to garnish our dish, we are going to finish with our roasted peanuts. Shut off the heat. I'm gonna add our scallions. Scoop up a little bit of rice just to try it. It's a little spicy, but it has a nice tang from the vinegar. It has a nice balance of sugar, and it's just perfect. So remember, you don't have to call for takeout. You can make your own chicken stir fry at home. Have a beautiful day. I love you.